Well, we're in tutorial 3 now of the Jurisan wooden pendant project, and in the last videos we had a size of our workpiece here. We set that up, and we also brought in this image from the internet. So now this video we're going to talk about editing this image. So if I zoom in on this image real close, you can see that it's very pixelated, because that's the way an image comes in. It's a little bunch of dots on your screen that if you are far enough away they start to look nice, but when zoomed in you can see that it doesn't look very nice at all. So what this program can do, being a vector program, and you can see the file type that, well, you can't see it up here, but if you save a document, and I haven't saved this one, you see it saves as an SVG, a scalable vector graphic. Well, we're going to make this a vector right now. So we're going to click on it using our pick tool, and we are going to go to path, and we are going to do something called trace bitmap. And if you click trace bitmap, you'll get a little dialog box that pops up, and click on live preview there, and you'll see that we can see our wave because we have it selected. If you don't have it selected and you live preview it, you might not have anything here. Or if you don't live preview it, well, if you live preview it and it's not selected, you won't have anything show up. So there we go. Stick with the default unless there's reason not to. It's just that there's different ways of tracing. These are all different ways. We're going to stick with this top one, which is brightness cutoff and the threshold. So we're going to push OK on that. And when I did that, it looks like something happened because the box changed, but it doesn't appear that something happened. So what happened was, if you click and hold on the wave and drag, there was two now. One was traced, and now if I zoom in, here, I'll bring this a little closer to this one, you can see the difference between the two. One is pixelated, one is nice and straight and clean, and no matter how far I zoom in on that, it will be straight and clean. That's a vector. Now I notice also here something weird happened to this wave, and I can fix that a few ways, and maybe we can see why. See all these little messy points here? So it just tried to interpret that in its trace, and I think I'll leave it alone for the moment. We'll just push OK. Or sorry, we'll push X to close that out. Now this one here, the original, you can delete it because, well, but if you want to keep it around, drag it off the page. Remember, this is the page. The only thing that will be printed in the end is what's on the page. So just throw it over here and store it there. Next thing is we're going to put this one back here, and we're going to play with it a bit. So under our fill and stroke, which again was under object, fill and stroke, now that it's a vector, it's made up of a fill and an outline. So we're going to turn the fill off, and we're going to turn the stroke, which is the outline, on. And you can see I have lines around the outside, and these are maybe what I want to follow with my saw. So the next thing I can also do is I can pick this down here underneath my pick tool that I call it, and it's the node picking or node editor. And if you click that and then you click your design, you'll see that when it's vectorized, if that's a word, it's those lines that we saw that are sharp are connected by dots. These are called nodes. And what you can do with a node is you can do all sorts of stuff. There's a whole bunch of node editing options at the top here. And what I could do is I could drag this node. And I can also see when I've got these handles, and those handles allow me to shape the node. Control Z to bring it back. There we go. The other thing I can do is I could say, well, it might be pretty thin for my saw to cut down both sides of this. And I would like to have some openings so that I can see through it when I'm finished sawing. So I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to grab, by holding shift, I'm going to grab several nodes. I have to zoom in here and figure out where all the nodes are. Is that a node? I don't know. Let's go back. Holding shift, I'll pick that one. They should go blue when you pick them. So there's one. Well, they don't seem to be going blue, but we'll just keep picking. Okay, once I pick several, by holding shift, I should be able to pick one and drag it, and they all move. So once they're all picked, you can drag several, and that might be handy. So up here, looks like I should do a bit more editing. I want to drag this one over. I want to keep that wave shape. I want to bring this one in, and you can play around with these, and you can also smooth out lines with some of these features. There's an auto smooth. So if you pick, I think it's this one. Let's see if I hover long enough. Let's try it. Selected nodes symmetric, auto smooth. There it is. That's picking all of these nodes and then heading back to this auto smooth, and it will try to smooth them out the best way the computer can. So then I could start doing this, and I could start, this one here looks like it's a little janky, so what we're going to do is do this, and maybe there's a little node here that I can pull out and smooth that out. So there's all sorts of editing that can be done. Now it's starting to look like maybe what I want. So that's editing. There's much that can be done. If you're having trouble editing, just ask for some help. I can give you some tips. There's many ways to do it, but that's the gist of it. Okay, hopefully in the next video we'll talk about printing this design.